Yeah.
Something's not right, man.
Someone on you?
No, I don't know. I got a bad feeling. I need to get out of here.
I wouldn't do that. Just stay put.
Can't stay put, man. I'm gonna find a way across on my own.
Hey, you want to get through this? You listen to me. Won't be much longer. You go out on your own. We can't.
Hi guys, so season 6 of Better Call Saul is well and truly underway, and we are hurtling towards the series finale at an alarming rate. Now, as terrifying as the thought of life without Better Call Saul is, we can take conciliation in the fact that the episodes we've seen so far have been bona fide straight fire. And honestly, we've come to expect nothing less from the screenwriting duo of Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould. If you're anything like us, you can talk at length about every episode of Better Call Saul that has ever aired. In today's video, however, we are going to do our best to keep our fandom under control and focus on one episode of the series exclusively. That episode is the second of the 6th season, which aired under the name Carrot and Stick. So stick around for your definitive synopsis of the episode, along with a breakdown of the Easter eggs you may have missed. Let's get started. Recap. Written by Thomas Schnauz and Ariel Levine, Carrot and Stick further documents Jimmy McGill's transformation into Saul Goodman.
Which meant I couldn't put food on the table.
Perhaps more notably, it also showcases Kim Wexler's increasing involvement in Saul's schemes and scams.
Okay. Enough carrot.
Throughout the episode, she seems to take a sort of perverse satisfaction in the deployment of underhanded tactics. The first example of this comes on early in Carrot and Stick, when Kim suggests that Saul reach out to 2 former clients to aid them in their plot to bring down Howard Hamlin. These 2 former clients are Betsy and Craig Kettleman, who we last saw in the Season 1 episode, Bingo. Since the events of Season 1, Betsy and Craig have lost everything.
We lost everything.
And have opened a tax services business, which operates out of a modest trailer on the outskirts of town, a far cry from Craig's days as a country treasurer. Saul's reunion with the Kettlemans gives us 2 of this episode's best Easter eggs. The first comes just after he pulls up to the trailer which their new business operates out of. Before entering, he takes a moment to admire an inflatable Statue of Liberty. Now, fans of Breaking Bad may recognize Lady Liberty from the exterior shots of Saul Goodman's office, which show a similar inflatable placed precariously on the roof of his establishment. It's unclear if this is the exact same inflatable as the one we see outside the Kettleman's trailer, or if Saul just took some inspiration from them when decorating his office, but perhaps we'll get an answer in an upcoming episode. We get a second Easter egg just after this scene, when Saul enters the Kettleman's office. As he walks into the trailer, Betsy is just finishing up some business with Joseph Prado. Prado's name is never actually said by any of the characters, but we can see it on the check that Betsy is printing for him. Again, fans of Breaking Bad might get some deja vu from this scene, as it was Prado who sold Walter White that 1964 Chevrolet C10 in the Breaking Bad episode Ozymandias. Now, the truck itself can be seen parked outside the Kettleman's trailer just after Saul's arrival. Unsurprisingly, Betsy is not too thrilled to have Saul re-enter her life.
Get out.
Craig receives him a little bit more warmly, especially after Saul informs him that they may have grounds to build a civil suit from the ashes of their infamous embezzlement case. According to Saul, the pair did not receive competent legal representation back in Season 1 because their lawyer, Howard Hamlin, was under the influence of Class A drugs at the time. Now, obviously, this is all a lie concocted by Saul and Kim in their efforts to sabotage Howard, but the Kettlemans fall for it and decide to enlist the services of Davis and Maine, just as Saul knew they would.
Best decision you've ever made.
Davis and Maine ultimately declined Craig's case, again, just as Saul knew that they would. What's important here is that Howard's alleged cocaine use has been implanted in the mind of Clifford Maine, and the seeds of distrust have been sown. While all of this is happening in the world of Saul Goodman, things are going from bad to worse for Nacho. Under Mike's advice, Nacho is laying low in a motel while Lalo Salamanca's men search for him. What Nacho doesn't realize, however, is that Mike left the address of the motel in a safe in Nacho's apartment, knowing full well that the safe would be cracked by Lalo's team. Later on in the episode, Nacho realizes that a man is watching him from a rundown building across the road from his motel. He manages to sneak from his room to that rundown building undetected and proceeds to interrogate the man who is watching him. It turns out this guy is pretty inconsequential. He's not actually with the cartel and is instead just being paid by some unnamed individual to report on Nacho's comings and goings. When the man receives a phone call from this unnamed individual, Nacho discovers that it is none other than Gustavo Fring, who has double-crossed him in an effort to smooth things over with the Salamanca family. With his life now in danger from both sides, Nacho attempts to flee the motel in a stolen pickup truck. Before he can make it out of the parking lot, however, he is confronted by the Salamanca twins. Putting the pedal to the metal, Nacho charges towards the twins in the stolen truck while haphazardly firing his gun. The Salamanca twins return fire with more precise, deliberate shots, and Nacho collides with a car that was blocking his exit from the parking lot and makes his getaway. Another manhunt for Nacho begins with both Lalo and Gus trying to track him down. In a meeting with Gus, Mike reveals that the truck Nacho stole from the motel parking lot has been found, although the man himself remains at large. In an attempt to lure him out of hiding, Gus instructs Mike to bring him Nacho's father.
No. You're not doing that.
Much to the chagrin of his boss, Mike refuses to follow this order and a brief argument ensues. Before things can get really heated, Mike receives a phone call from Nacho who asks to speak to Gus. We don't know exactly what Nacho's conversation with Gus was about or if it even happened at all, but things will almost definitely become clear in the next episode. I guess fans of Nacho's story arc will just have to wait and see how things play out. Back in the land of the lawyers, Saul and Kim's scheme continue to play out exactly as they hoped it would.
So you won't represent Craig?
I'm afraid not.
The Kettlemans are unable to find a lawyer to take their case and eventually come to realize that they never had the grounds for a civil suit in the first place. Infuriated to have been scammed by Saul yet again, they call him to their trailer and demand he succeed in overturning Craig's conviction. Now, for all of his faults, Saul is at heart a student of the law and knows there's no way any court is going to exonerate Craig, no matter who's representing him. With this in mind, he offers Betsy and Craig money as a sort of apology gift, but the couple refuses to accept anything less than a promise to prove Craig's innocence. They even threaten to tell Howard everything about Saul's plan to ruin his career if he doesn't agree to take their case. Lucky for Saul, Kim is present for this entire conversation. Refusing to be intimidated by the Kettlemans, she places a call to a friend who works for the IRS. Speaking loudly enough for the Kettlemans to hear, she tells this friend that she knows of a tax services business that is defrauding its clients by giving them less money than they are entitled to. Before Kim can give her friend more specific details, Betsy forcibly ends the call and agrees not to tell Howard anything. But at this late in the game, this promise isn't enough for Kim, who demands the Kettlemans also reimburse their clients for any money that they stole from them. Like the boss that she is, Kim exits the trailer, leaving the Kettlemans and Saul speechless. Back in the car, Saul compares her to a wolf and they drive away, unaware that they are being followed by a gray sedan. And with this shot, we fade to black and the credits roll. So there you have it, your comprehensive breakdown of one of the best Better Call Saul episodes ever. Like most episodes of this show, this didn't have a whole lot of Easter eggs for the fans to enjoy, but the ones that it did have were certainly thrilling, as was Carrot and Stick as a whole. But what did you guys think of it? Do you think Season 6 has been delivering so far? Let us know your thoughts and predictions in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth breakdowns of Better Call Saul and other great shows. We'll see you next time.